Preserves. The
I've
Meelypops
never
Preserve.
seen anything like
So
this before.
There's two guys on that card, Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got
Not
stories.
just two guys, brah.
Yeah.
You guys, you just turned this into a goat farm.
It's
a goat farm.
And these aren't any goats, right? These are the head goats.
These are Billy goats.
Yeah, these are the Billy goats.
These are Billy goats.
Exactly. So we got a Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan dual sign autograph card here. It's got a Sunday red jersey, right, that he wore, and then you got a white from the Wizards there. It's the only card that has the two of them on it from a basketball and golf perspective. There is some dual autographs of Michael Jordan.
There's only 25 of these cards ever made.
Yeah, and then also it's graded really high.
I feel weird touching this, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know it's got plastic on the outside, but it should be like, yo, the plastic got fingerprints on it. Just ruined the value.
Jameel Muhammad and Jeff Cardozo dive into the hobby, which is sports cards, trading cards, as well as all other collectibles, right now on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, live from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
All right, it is everybody's favorite time once again, the Meelypod Hobby Podcast, coming at you from our Meldon Law Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are in the podcast room, and we are with our normal cast of characters, but we've got a fun one that's going to join us in studio. Michael Collins of ESPN, the golf expert and comedian and many other things. Will have a lot of fun with Michael. And Jameel had a lot of fun. That's Jameel Muhammad. I am Jeff Cardozo. He was up in Atlanta this weekend battling the Falcons crowd, but doing some good things at a show there. But before we get to all of that, let's start with the NFL, because we have for a few weeks now talked about this rookie quarterback class and the ups and downs and everything that's going on. And finally on Monday night, I think we saw a little breakout. And you are like Nostradamus. You predicted that Jaden Daniels might be the best of all these dudes, and he balled out for a change.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm Nostradamus. I don't have the hunchback yet, but he looked really good. I mean, to be the first rookie or the highest passer rating for a rookie in a game, 21 for 23, and touchdowns on the running, all stuff that he was doing. His team looked like they're having a lot of fun. That pass to Terry McLaurin was a very pretty pass, great catch too. And so you look at that class now, Daniels and Nix, right, looking really like these are the guys, and they went in, of course, to my Tampa Bay Bucks and crushed us this weekend. And then you have, Caleb Williams, who's kind of on the fence still. I think that Stroud-Williams thing has really played a lot into, and that conversation they had after the game has really played a lot into people's determination of his ego, And so I don't know. It's just a moment. You lost the game. A guy's coming to talk to you. You don't want to talk. You want to get to your locker room. But at the same time, cameras are everywhere. So just not a good look, I don't think, for him. They look. I think he's going to be okay. I'm not sure. And then, of course, Drake May. Who's Drake May? Who's that guy?
And who's Bryce Young?
Yeah.
I mean, you had a redhead step in there. You knew he'd be a stud because he was a redhead. I used to be a redhead. I'm gray now. Jameel drives me nuts. So, Andy Dalton going off. So that was, interesting. But obviously all that stuff affects the hobby and different things are going on. But I think it just shows you like this revolving door week in and week out of the stuff can happen.
Yeah, football is the most volatile sport when it comes to the hobby, right? I mean, we look at somebody like Ohtani, and that Ohtani has been a train that, like, if you were on the train and you were buying his stuff, even at high-end premiums, you were very well rewarded with that, last week. So baseball, you see that. Basketball, you can kind of gauge some things a little bit longer, I think. You can hold on to cards a little bit longer. But with football, it's dog eat dog with that. So I'm a little concerned with that 2023 class, 2020 as well, to throw that in the mix. But 2023 class, because, you see, Stroud losing, you see Bryce Young, warming the bench. Not really with hope of returning, his team looking amazing, right? Everyone predicted them to win that week 3 game, and they didn't, or to lose that game, and they won. So what's the problem there with Bryce Young? Is it coaching? Is it talent? What is it? Who knows? So there's a lot of things that I think people are really adjusting with quarterbacks. And then the last couple of years, wide receiver and running back cards have been a little bit more of a premium. So Jamar Chase finally had a great game last night, but the Bengals are 0-3, right? So, you look at things like that, whereas Justin Jefferson, is on amazing. The team looks amazing with Sam Darnold, right? Shout out to Sam Darnold for a guy who's been in the league since 18 and bounced around and, told all, he could see ghosts, and all those kinds of things I remember, and look at him now. So I think that you're seeing some things in cards that are happening a lot quicker than they used to. Some people might say in the past, like, just hold on the Bryce Young type card. He'll be fine. He's number 1 pick. He won't go down much. Yeah, he will. He will go down a lot now. So be mindful of that with your cards, if you can sell. Tua is another guy. Like,
Yeah.
if you have some Tua stuff, and you want to play the risky game, just know you can lose a lot of money very quickly. And there could be an announcement tomorrow,
Yeah.
So
Be the Andrew Luck
right, yeah,
syndrome of what happened. You mentioned some of these skill guys. I know still Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't have the cards. He's finally balling out, so maybe when he does, that'll be a hot commodity. Malik Neighbors looks like he's going to be that go-to guy. So there are a few wide receivers out there worth getting after.
Absolutely. Harrison's stuff is cool because he has some college stuff, so his first it's pretty much his only cards. Ohio State. He has autographs in it too, sticker autographs. So it's exciting to kind of see people, flock to a college card for somebody. So we'll see how he goes, how he does. That's a very interesting team to watch as well. Very dynamic team.
Well, I was an idiot. Shohei was in Miami. It's like a 5-hour drive from where we are. I could have sat in left field to get the 50th homer. Do you see what that thing sold for?
I didn't see the sale price, but I know the guy turned down an offer from Ohtani. Personally, he made the offer and he said no.
$3.7 million.
Just pocket change for you, Jeff.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy, right?
And there was a fight for the ball. There's 4 or 5 guys going after it and having a good time. But yeah, certainly a piece of history that'll may never ever happen again.
Yeah.
So I can see that, but then I go back to, you remember the Bonds and McGuire and the Sosa and all these chases and that, what was the one dude, the comic guy, bought all the balls. And just now they're probably nothing, but I don't know if that's going to be the case with the Shohei ball.
I think with baseballs, there's always that initial allure of it, right?
Yeah.
All the auction, who has it first one, and then once it sells, then what? So you think about the most iconic home run balls, Babe Ruth's, his jersey sold, but that ball probably the called shot. You think about Maris, McGuire, Bonds, all those when they broke the records. I think those are important. But this is such a unique player, and he's still got so much longer to go. He's so young. So I think his value is very lasting. There's gonna be an element to that that's gonna stick around. But I do get it. I prefer cards a little bit over memorabilia because for a lot of reasons that way.
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. So let's talk about some PSA standards coming out in the hobby and some of the different things that are going on. Interesting week with that.
Yeah. So hobby's been there's been a kind of a lull, and then all of a sudden, just recently, PSA has dropped this information on standards, specifically if cards are found to be doctored in a way with polishes or cleaned is the word. They didn't outright say this, but the cards are going to be deemed altered and they're not going to be graded. So this is a big thing in the hobby. It's been around for it's been around forever, but in the last 10 years, you see more of this of Kurt's card cleaning kit. Everyone calls him Uncle Kurt. What do I do to get my PSA 10?
Yeah.
You see him at the shows where there's people set up who are cleaning cards, before you submit them. And I think PSA, to me as a card shop owner, I think that's the right step. I'm going to take a stance on that because I have a lot of people who it's a very polarizing issue. But card cleaning to me is if you're altering the cards that come out of packs, polishing them. I've seen some cards that come out of 1990 packs, basketball, Michael Jordan refractors that they're cleaner than your hotel linens at the Ritz-Carlton. Like they are so clean, so polished, and that's not natural for that kind of card. So I think that there's some elements there that PSA is getting involved in, and I think for people who are grading, who are cleaning, you really got to be careful. They do have some technology. Genamint they acquired a while ago. They're putting things on cards to make sure they know the card doesn't come back through. They've created new cases, so they're very hard to crack for people when they do the regrading. So at least PSA is taking a step forward in the quality controls, which we need.
Yeah,
we really need that, and that helps. I think graded cards that people have currently.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I wish I had a graded cool Wemby. I know he's making some news again this week.
Yeah, so Topps Mercury, they had this big thing last week. Topps did this big promo. It looked like an alien landed. They were like, what is this? And they're coming out with this product that's it's not retail price, but the cost price for wholesale was $8,000 a box. It's a pack. It's one briefcase kind of like container with 8 cards in it, and 2 of the cards are guaranteed Wembanyama autographs.
Wow.
One of them being a relic autograph. So he doesn't really have what's called the RPA, the rookie patch autograph. So this will be his first RPA. And Topps Mercury is a brand new brand that they're announcing. So Topps is doing a lot of new composite football just recently. Now we have Mercury basketball. So you're getting a lot of the motif football. A lot of these new brands are coming into play, and they're introducing them slowly. I think they're doing a good job with hyping and marketing. I just don't know. We'll see what the market says on these cards when they come out. Are they going to – because every box is Wembanyama, right? Yep. So it's going to be a little tricky for breakers. It's going to be a little tricky for resale because they're going to see the same cards over and over. There's no variance. But the big draw in this product – is there's a LeBron James Wembanyama dual-signed autograph card. There's a Superfractor 101, I think 1 out of 5 and some out of 10. So there's like 16 cards that are dual-signed, which are going to be the huge chase for that.
Well, speaking of big draws, I know it's probably a big draw to see Meelypops shop in Atlanta for a lot of people. We talked about that last week. You going up there, first time being there. So how was it?
Yeah, Atlanta was it was great. The people were great. I love the Dirty South. I love just talking to people and having it, cutting it up, and even with the security guards and the people working the facility. Awesome. It's fun. The football game was that weekend, so there's a lot. Chiefs Nation was there in force, man. I saw so many Mahomes jerseys and guys drinking brown bags, walking around everywhere in Chiefs jerseys, looking like they were lost. But the show was really more so TCG based. Steve Aoki was a performer. There were all these autograph signers. They had the voice of like Dragon Ball Z characters, and they had the voice of Mario and Luigi and things like that. So there's a lot of draw there for the non-sport side, which we brought a lot of. We sold through a lot of the vintage items that we had that were Pokemon, big expensive items. Like we sold a pack for close to $6,000,
wow.
One single pack of Pokemon cards. So there's big sales like that. But the nice thing, which I loved, was that we were one of only a few sports vendors there. Yeah. And so you take advantage of the opportunity. It's only a 2-day show, but we sold a lot of wax, which I was really surprised. People ripping, it was awesome. And then we also sold a lot of singles in sports. A lot of trades, had a lot of people coming up buying like Jordan rookies and mantles and Braves cards, or dirty Crazy. Braves. Yeah, I mean, Chipper cards, everything was just selling. So I think it shows that the fandom is truly there in Atlanta. I love it. I've seen that in South Carolina with Clemson in South Carolina. You just see just this big heart for their team. So it was a great success, and I think they're going to keep doing it. I think we'll go back to that one next year for sure.
Did you see the voice of Mario in person? Did you see that guy?
Yeah, so his name is Charles Martinet. I've gotten to meet him a few times, and
does he look like what you would expect? I think those are always the fascinating parts.
Yeah.
Like you have this vision of Mario. Like, does he look anything like it?
No, and I have to put it on. I will impose it for the people who are watching. I have a picture in my phone where we'll put up, but it is completely different. Now, when you hear him, if you close your eyes, it's way different,
sure.
Right? And so that's cool. I think is that voice you've grown up playing video games, and there he is right there. So a cool guy, really nice guy too.
Awesome. Well, that's what it is all about. Well, speaking of cool guys, nice guys, we've got Michael Collins coming up next. As ESPN Caddy, but we know him as just a guy that loves sports, loves Philly. So we'll harass him a little bit about that because your Bucks have
big game.
Have the Eagles this weekend.
Big game. I think they're both 2-1. So big game.
So Baker versus Jalen.
There you go. Rematch.
Yeah, maybe you guys should have a little bet or something.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
See what happens.
Maybe.
All right. Talk to him when we come back here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't. Our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured.
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
And our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life, and the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans. All right, we welcome you back to the Meelypod Hobby Podcast here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in the podcast room, and we hyped this guy up, and miraculously he has shown up. Michael Collins of ESPN. He's done a million things, and we're going to have a really fun time with a guy who I've known for a really long time.
A long time, bro. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Part of my golf addiction is your fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Got it going.
Because of Ironwood.
Yeah.
That's all because back in the day.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Ironwood,
Well,
man.
and obviously, you know how much I love you, but I think I think we're sort of the same. I don't think we even take ourselves seriously at all. And
Nah.
you can't in this business. And I think that's what, you try to have fun and enjoy it. And, I guess for golf, though, like, this is supposed to be this hoity-toity, sport.
Right.
And you haven't made it that way. Why is that?
Well, first of all, and I had this conversation with Sky Van Pelt a long time ago, too, and you fall into this same category as us. We're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not supposed to be where we are. And, there was an agent of a player one time who started yelling, like, yo, Dream. And I was looking around, and then he's like, yeah, and he's pointing at me. And I'm like, why you call me Dream? And I go over, and he goes, because you're the epitome of the American dream. You created a niche in a sport where no one was asking for you.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, why? We don't need a guy like that. We don't have anyone who sounds like that. For good reason, we don't want that. And yet you created something in a space. And now my mom said to me one time, when you first got into golf stuff, no one was funny. And now everybody's trying to be funny. And I'm like, I never really thought of that before. But yeah, it's been a wild journey to go from stand-up comedian to caddy on the PGA Tour to now like ESPN and broadcasting, doing play-by-play on Sirius XM, and it's been a wild ride, man. But that's the thing. It's only because my whole life I've never been afraid to say, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So like going from comedy, when Robert Gomez called me and said, man, I'm playing like crap and I just want to have fun on the course. Come caddy for me for a week. And I was like, yeah, why not? And not knowing anything, I didn't know what I was doing. But then by the end of the week, other players were like, yo, call me when you got a week off from comedy. I need somebody to have. And then that snowballed. And then a guy coming up to me on a driving range being like, how do you feel about doing play-by-play? And I was like, word, who you with? ABC, NBC, CBS, Golf Channel, who you with? And he was like, I'm with XM Radio. Golf on the radio? Come on, man. It's hard enough to watch paint dry. You think people going to listen to it? And it turns out the head of Fox Sports at the time and the head of ESPN were closet golf maniacs. And they heard me because I say, yeah, you know what? Why not? And they, oh, you might be good at it. And I would just goof off and have fun. And these two titans in the industry at the time were just like, who is this guy? Yeah. He's not talking like any broadcaster we've ever heard before. And golfers are talking to him in a way we've never heard people talk back before. Yeah. And they're telling him things they never tell anybody else. And that was it's a trust factor thing too.
Yeah. That's
the big thing for me. It's like athletes, celebrities, I've earned a level of trust so that they know I'm not out for like the gotcha. I'm not out for like, I'm going to get this just clicks. And like, I'm doing that because it's fun for me. And like, I'm going to treat you the same that I treat everybody. Whether you with $4 billion or you're a janitor. That don't make you a good person. Sure. It don't make you cool. But like, I want people, why does somebody want to have a beer with you? No matter what your job title is. And that's what I like, being like that. And I'm the same. He'll tell you I'm the same whether the camera's on or not.
Yeah, I mean, me and Jeff bust each other chops, but I look at you. You're busting like all these guys on tour, their chops. You're giving them the business.
I can't help it, man. That's the comedian side of me, man. But the first time you throw something out there, you're like, oh shoot, why did I say that? But then people turn and laugh.
Yeah, I mean but I think that's what the infectiousness of your personality has done. Is like you brought
man.
that to golf, you brought that to TV. How did going back? How did Michael Collins get to that point? Like, were you a quiet kid? Were you expression? Like, how did you get to this point where you could?
You said if I was you a quiet kid. My mom busting out laughing right now. She is laughing right now. Nah, I was. I would be. I think they would have said I was the class clown.
Okay.
Growing up, like when I first started doing stand-up comedy back in my hometown, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I went back. When I had a big show, my first headline show, I went back to like my junior high and high school and invited some of my teachers who were still there. Hey, you want to come to the show? But a lot of them were like, hey, what are you doing now? And I was like, I'm a stand-up comedian. They were like, oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
No one was surprised. If I'd have been like, I'm a surgeon, they would have been like, I better never get sick because this dude's going to kill everybody on the table. So... yeah, it was kind of everybody. No one was surprised when I became a comedian. And then going from doing stand-up comedy, I mean, I was in Hilton Head, South Carolina, the week that the tournament was there. And a kid I went to high school with, had always been saying, if you're ever here, man, call me. And then he goes, I got tickets to Tuesday practice round. And I was like, we're going to watch golf practice? That's because at the time I was like, I don't think they play till Saturday.
Right.
And then I met a golfer and Caddy, and they came to the show Tuesday night and then gave me clubhouse badges and were introducing me to everybody. And by the end of the week, 50 players and 100 caddies had been to the show. I started booking comedy wherever the tour is going to be. And then one week, a guy calls me up, Robert Gomez, and says, come caddy for me for a week so I can remember to have fun on the course. And then other guy, and it just started snowballing. And then fast forward to that XM Radio. Well, before XM Radio, a girl named Judith Coleman was working for PGA Tour Productions, and they were doing a show called Inside the PGA Tour. And she was like, she heard about this comedian who caddied. So one week in Milwaukee, she was like, hey, man, we want to do a bit with you. So I did a bit with them. We actually turned like a hotel lobby into a comedy club. Wow. And I did comedy, and then we did some skits on the course. And then they were doing another show called on USA Network called PGA Tour Sunday. And they did 5 seasons of that. And I did segments called Open Mic, and it started as the Caddy Corner, where I would do skits with players. And that's when players were kind of understanding that, okay, this guy is a comedian, but he's also a caddy. So he knows the game, but he wants to have fun. And so we would do rule stuff, teaching people things, but then having fun and doing skits with a bunch of guys. Like I had Steve Stricker throw me on the ground. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The nicest dude in the whole world grabbed me and threw me down. And you could see he wanted to do something like that his whole life.
Just dying to do it, yeah.
His whole life.
And that's where you get that trust.
And then that was it. Like those, being able to do those type of things, and then getting on XM radio and doing play-by-play on XM, and then getting to interview a lot of guys and a lot of celebrities and athletes. And it was crazy how it all, because golf, the one thing that's weird about golf is it's in everything. And there was another comedian who was like, you got to play golf. And at first I laughed at him because he would watch it on TV. And you got narcolepsy? You got sleep disorder on Saturdays. You're trying to take a nap before the show. And then he was like, no, man, call a comedy club and tell them you want to come do 5 minutes, and then call another comedy club and tell them you're playing golf in the area and see which one lets you come on stage. And the one that I said I was playing golf at, they were the ones that were like, yeah, you want to do 5?
Oh, great.
And so, and talking to a lot of friends too, you're like, wait, this celebrity plays golf too? Wait, this musician, this rapper, this, nowadays you look at everything, you're like, hold up. All of these famous people and all of these titans in business too, they all end up playing golf. Because it's that one sport where I can do something like the pros. You're never going to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. You're never even going to get in the batter's box and hit a ball. You're never going to hit a free throw in a packed arena. You're never going to catch a touchdown pass or, from the 1 yard line, make a tackle or score a touchdown. You ain't never doing any of that stuff. But what you can do is I can play where the professional golfers play, and I could even on accident hit a shot just like them. And that's why other athletes end up coming to the game too. And that's their addiction to it.
Pretty special. A lot of this podcast, we've been fascinated just by people's stories and, hearing you and, knowing some of the things. I remember you telling me there was one year you put like 100,000 miles on your little Honda Civic or something.
Yeah, Civic hatchback, man.
So you're just like, what is that grind? So everybody that's watching, it's hard sometimes. And
it's funny. Think about nowadays. Even back then, you think about, you only see the success part of it, right? Like when people say it was overnight success, it was 20 years overnight.
That's right.
And so in our society, even today, like people see everything on their phones, the videos and stuff, and they only see the success part. Like you don't see people where it takes 2 days of messing up before you get it perfect. And that was the grind of doing stand-up first, was like, those first couple of years of doing stand-up, I was driving 3.5 hours one way to do 5 minutes on stage for free. Because that's what you got to do. Like when you're chasing it and you're going after it, like that's what it takes to do. Or you're, driving 5.5 hours for $50, to get on stage and kind of work that craft. But that's too, is, if you really love what you do and you like, this is it for me. And I didn't have a safety net. Like there was no backup plan. So it's like, this is what I got to go do. And I was lucky enough that like my family supported me in what I was doing too. So it wasn't like I had people going, stop, don't do that. Like that's dumb. Get a real job. And I did. I had a real job where I worked in the Nike factory store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, while I was like starting to do stand up too. So I had to like work and then go do shows on Wednesday nights, Tuesday night. There were open mics all over, from Lancaster to Philly to New York. Like I was hitting all these in Jersey, all these open mic nights you would hit, and then hope to get a gig on a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah.
To kind of keep it going. But yeah, it was that. I think the second year I was doing stand-up comedy, I put 100,000 miles on a Honda Civic hatchback.
Yeah.
And then got it repossessed because I wasn't making enough money to keep it. I was trying to hide it, places and stuff, and they freaking got it anyway. But yeah, it was like, there's, like I said, it's, when people ask me, and I get emails now from a lot of college kids in journalism school, they're like, yo, how do I do what you do? And I'm like, if you try to follow the path that I went on, you're going to be like homeless under a bridge. You got to make your own way and own path, and then not be afraid to sometimes go, yeah, why not? Because as a comedian, when I was doing stand-up, I never, if you would have told me you're going to caddy on the PGA Tour and then work for ESPN, I'd have been like, I'm going to need you to pee in this cup and go to HR because your meds are off. But that's you just never know. There are doors that you don't know are there. Sometimes that'll crack open, and you got to not be afraid to walk through them.
And you also have to have the drive, which like I resonate a lot with what you're saying. You know, it didn't come from much, and you have the drive to push in whatever you do. We started a card shop out of the middle of nowhere right before COVID too. So everybody was
perfect timing.
Yeah, exactly. But it actually turned out to be perfect timing because it's flipped. Everybody got on their side hustle game. Everybody got on the internet. Everybody was taking their stimmy checks and buying LeBron cards or whatever, Tiger cards or whatever it was. And so it was just, but you have to still push through that, right? And so I think about that drive, and there's so many young people, entrepreneurs that want to get into business or get into journalism, you know, these things, and it's that drive is, I think, absolutely
when it all goes wrong, what do you do?
Right.
That's what. When I was a kid, one of the posters I had on my wall was a surfer on a huge wave, and he was falling off the board.
Yeah.
And the saying underneath it said, "Success is getting up one more time than you fall." And I still remember having that poster, because even like at the worst parts of my teenage life, all that stuff, when you're going through it, you know, even as an adult, when I canceled 6 months of comedy gigs to caddy for a guy who fired me the second week we were out.
Ooh.
So now I got no job and no 6 months worth of work coming, nothing. That next week, I was in the parking lot at a PGA Tour event in Miami, like trying to get a gig. I got to get a job. Like I need to carry a bag. And luckily I did. I got a bag. But, you know, even my in-laws were just like, I think I earned their respect doing that, because it was like, this dude is up before the sun comes up to be in the parking lot so that he's hustling to get a gig, to get a job, to make sure like, he just doesn't want to be sitting around doing nothing, like, oh, poor me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of guys who didn't sit around and do nothing and who've made a little bit for themselves.
This is crazy.
I have a special guest here, as you guys can see, Michael Collins here on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast. I brought a card out from the reserves. The
I've never seen anything like this before.
There's two guys on that card, Mike. And I'm sure you got
not
stories.
just two guys, brah. You guys, you just turned this into a goat farm. It's a goat farm.
And these aren't any goats, right? These are the head goats.
These are Billy goats.
These are the Billy goats.
These are Billy goats.
Exactly. So we got a Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan dual sign autograph card here. It's got a Sunday red jersey, right, that he wore, and then you got a white from the Wizards there. It's the only card that has the two of them on it from a basketball and golf perspective. There is some dual autographs of Michael Jordan.
There's only 25 of these cards ever made.
Yeah, and then also it's graded really high.
I feel weird touching this, man.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know it's got plastic on the outside, but it should be like, yo, the plastic got fingerprints on it. Just ruined the value.
But I just love to know what, like, as you see something like this, and then you like translate it to your history and all, you know, meeting these guys, seeing these guys for the first time, the egos these guys have, the confidence these guys have. I'm sure you got some stories for us.
I mean, yeah, these are two guys that I'm very fortunate enough to call friends, right? And I've never asked them for an autograph.
That's awesome.
Or nothing like that. Just because for me that'd be kind of weird.
Sure.
You know, that'd be like you asking me for an autograph. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Bro, we hang out. Like, come on, man.
He just called himself Jordan.
No, I did not.
He just said, like, you're coming.
No. No, nice try, bro. That's a quick way to end this podcast. Let me tell you something. Nah. So I will tell you a funny story. So the first time, and I think the only time they have ever played in a Pro-Am together in public was in Charlotte at the Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So at Quail Hollow, the two of them played on a Wednesday Pro-Am together. And there were bigger crowds there than I've seen for tournaments.
Sure.
And this is on a Pro-Am because it's them two playing.
Sure.
And then I get the assignment of you got to interview them and you going first. So, of course, like, it's the two Billy Goats. It's Tiger and MJ. Like, and now I'm thinking, like, what am I going to do? Like, how I'm going to start this off? And I'm thinking, because there's all kinds of media. But I'm also being a little bit selfish, and I'm like, I got to start this in a way that no one can use what I say. Mm-hmm. Because what'll happen is, when they call it a scrum, when you got a scrum like that, if you ask the wrong question, if you ask a question, any question, most of the time, the other people will steal it. Yep. And they'll use it like they asked it. So I was like, all right. So now when they're walking off, both of them, the people are coming like, hey, we would love it if you would chat with Lil. And they were like, nah, we're not talking to nobody after the fact. And then they were like, the guy from Michael Collins asked him. And they were like, all right. So now when they come over, now it's even more pressure because I know, like, this is probably going to be big time. So they walk over. There's thousands of people around in the back, scream, and they're all, everybody trying to get stuff signed. All this media standing around, and they are looking at me like, what are you going to do? So I looked at both of them, and I was like, it's not very often that Moses and Jesus go into public and play golf together. Which one's which? Who's who? And both of them bust out laughing and looked at each other, and MJ was like, I ain't touching that. And both of them laughed. And everybody around was like, huh? And they all laughed then too, but they knew, like, and then we just had a regular conversation about what it was like on the golf course for the two of them and playing in front of people and, like, what brought them together and all that kind of stuff. But I'll never forget, like, that initial, because everybody was, like, on pins and needles looking around like, oh, how's this going down? And so to be able to break that ice, and then it was just three dudes talking. And that happened to have 1,000 flies on the wall, like, all being nosy, trying to get in our business. Yeah. So, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what it is. Just enjoy it, and I think it's bringing out the personalities. 'Cause I don't think a lot of guys want to talk X's and O's or whatever their sport is. Like they'd rather just
That's one of the things that I learned with golf. Like you go to if I went when I told ESPN I wanted to do a podcast, they were like, nah, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no. We said, why do you think you're gonna do a podcast? I said, because if I went to Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, or like you name the GOAT in the sport right now. If I went to those dudes and was like, hey, Steph Curry, you want to do a basketball podcast with me? They will mush you in the face. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if I went to any of those dudes, Mike Trout, like you name the star. If I went to them and said, hey, man, you want to come on do a golf podcast and talk golf? Hell yeah. Sure. Because they not only do they play golf, they're all into golf too. Right. So they're like, yeah, I'll talk golf. Let's talk golf. But again, if you're the top of your sport, you're going to equate golf to your sport. Mm-hmm. So even when we're talking golf, you're still going to be like, well, see, here's like when I was in this situation in my sport, here's what happened. So you end up doing both. But now we're going to come to a place that makes you comfortable. Instead of everybody and their cousin want to talk to you about, like, hey, man, why did you do this wrong? Yeah. And I'm not trying to do that. Like,
well, speaking of doing something wrong, I have this in my head because you're sitting there talking about, not really playing golf and, not knowing much about golf. And then you're asked to caddy. Like, early on, everybody listening, we're in these scrambles and dude hits in the bunker, has no idea how to rake it. It looks like crap afterwards. Like, what was that like for you? I just didn't
think about that.
Like, like, did you know how to even rake a bunker? How to judge a yardage?
The very first hole I caddy, so Robert Gomez and I are playing. He has to do a rehab start. It's a Nike event before it became, like, it was 9 different names before now it's Corn Ferry Tour. Okay. So we get to this course in Louisiana, and it had been underwater, the course. So we're not allowed to practice round, and there's no Pro-Am gets canceled. Gosh. So the only thing they gave us a cart and said you can drive around and look at the course. You're not allowed to hit a shot. So we're driving around, and I was like, yep, that's a golf hole, and there's another one. Yep, I think there's 18 of them around here. This is crazy. On the first tee, it's a par 5 down the hill. He's taking the head cover off the driver, and I go, hey, man, don't hit it in that sand trap because I don't know how to rake like a pro. Now, see, y'all laugh because you understand. Sure. And he like is looking at me, and I was like, why is he looking at me like that? And you know where he hits it?
Of course. In the bunker.
Right in the thing. And he walks and slams the club, and I was like, bro, I just told you not to hit it in there. And he's like, you can't say that. That's exactly where I'm going to hit it. And I was like, now you tell me what to say. And he starts laughing. We get down there, and I'm like, what are you going to do? What's the plan? He was like, it's a par 5. I'm going to hit this 3-wood in that front greenside bunker and get up and down for birdie. And I was like, fool, I just told you I don't know how to rake. You hitting it in 2 bunkers on the first hole? I was like, if you hit it in that greenside bunker, I'm going to call immigration, tell them your Mexican ass is illegal. He can get you kicked out. And he's trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
So, like, even then, I know, at least I know he's in a good mental space. But he freaking poses as it flies right in the green. He called his shot. And I put the bag down. Hey, this dude's not even legal. We need to get him out. And he was like, get down there and learn how to rake. And then eventually I asked other caddies, hey, man, like, just so y'all know, I'm not taking this as a joke because I love the game.
Sure.
So if I'm going to do this, like, literally teach me for real. Teach me how to read the yardage book and what those pin sheets are and, like, why you walk things off in the angles and sometimes and, like, why you rake the bunkers in these directions and stuff. And I was lucky enough to have some really good caddies that were, like, some of the best on tour teach me. And teach me how to do things the right way. Because then they understood, look, I'm not out here doing this and then going on stage making fun of everybody. Like, I don't know if there was any part of my act when I was doing both comedy and caddying. I never went on stage and, like, took anything from the golf course. At one time, I took something from the golf course when the dude tried to hit a flop shot and he went straight under the ball and it dropped down and didn't go anywhere. And then I was trying not to laugh, and he walked over, and he was like, you got a show tonight? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you going to talk about that, ain't you? And I was like, I won't use your name.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even my player, but then he proceeded to chip in the next one. And when he chipped it in, he turned and was like, you better say that on stage too, little mother. And we were all laughing. It was great, the whole group. That's the only thing I've ever taken straight to stage from something that happened on the golf course. But most of the time, I kept the two very separate.
When I listen to you, I just think about authenticity, right? Like, it's a big word we use in my world is just
authentic,
cards and autograph stuff.
Because you know how many fake ones, something like this is out there?
Absolutely. And we get that all the time. But I look at you and I think, like, there's an authentic element of knowing the game, but there's also a way of how you handled yourself with these people. And autographs and memorabilia. People must come up to you and be like, how'd you get this? Where'd you get this? And you just said, I don't ask these guys for autographs.
Right.
But I do.
You know how many people come up to me too and be like, what's
up,
man? Yeah. Hey, we would love for you to come to this thing of ours, and maybe you can get so-and-so to sign some stuff and bring that too. I'm like, I'm not. Nah,
you get all that.
I'm not coming.
Yeah, just on the side, could you help us out here a little bit?
Right.
But I wonder from your.
This is why I tell a lot of these dudes, like I've told Tiger, being your friend sucks. Sometimes. Yeah. Because when people know that you're friends with somebody, they're like, yo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because and then you get a different version of that person. But,
correct.
But I wonder from your side, has there been any memorabilia or any item, because I know people are going to want to know, just in your comings and goings of everybody on tour, everybody you've met, has there been something cool that you've treasured that you've been able to keep from, someone giving you something or picking up something from
like a bib, a flag?
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Tiger signed a couple of gloves for my sons.
Oh, that's awesome.
He signed some stuff for my boys.
Yeah.
And it was just like we were in a parking lot, and it was after a round, and his caddy gave the boys gloves.
That's awesome.
And so, me and Tiger's kids are the exact same ages. They were born like 2 months apart. Wow. So we went through everything together. And a lot of times when people see us laughing and talking on a golf course, we're just talking about our family and crazy stuff that our kids do. Because people think we're just talking golf, but no, we talk family. And so when he signed gloves for my boys, like it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. He just did it because he wanted to give them something cool. He wanted to give them something cool.
Like, just hearing that is just awesome. I think that's a lesson.
Rory did that for my youngest one. That's another thing that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So my youngest, Braylon, got Rory into chess. So when Braylon was like 5 years old, He finished 4th in the national chess tournament, and he loves Rory McIlroy. So he signed a chessboard. But as a 5-year-old, he said, play PLYGUDCHES. Play good chess. And he signed it Braylon. And I was like, that mean a lot. And I took it and gave it to Rory along with the pieces that he was using during the tournament because we had a couple of those boards. And Rory, it meant so much to him when he won the PGA Championship in Valhalla. He got some of his personal photos. And he signed one to Braylon and sent it to Braylon for him. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing, really, you don't have to do stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of those things, if you want to see what a person really is like and really about. And it's one of the reasons, all of these dudes you're talking about. I can try to put up with people bad-mouthing, but then I'm always like, you ever have a beer with them?
Yeah.
You ever have a conversation? Or you just... You making assumptions of people that you've never spoken to or don't see. So I fight for my people.
That's good.
But don't get me wrong. My job, sometimes I got to criticize. But everybody knows that's another thing that means the world to me. It's all of my golf friends understand. If I'm criticizing something I saw you do on a golf course, 2 things. It's coming from a place of honesty, that authenticity. 3 things. 2, I'm going to walk on that driving range and look you in the eyes after I say something. And if I said something, and this is the 3rd one, if I said something that's not right or not true, and you tell me, hey, man, that wasn't what happened, or that isn't how it is, you know what I'm going to do? As soon as we're done talking, I'm going to find a camera. I'm going to stand in front of that camera and say, hey, just a heads up, I was wrong. And I just spoke to them, and here's the truth and what they told me. And in our journalism, how often do you see that? And that's one of the things I'm proud of is I'm not afraid to say I was wrong. And I think that kind of honesty, too, also breeds trust with not only the people that you're talking to, but also breeds a lot of trust with the people that are watching you. Because they know, hey, I can trust what this dude's saying because if he's wrong, he's going to come back out and be like, yo, that was, instead of doubling down and be like, I stand by exactly what I said. And be like, did you actually talk to the people or not? So that means a lot to me to be able to do that. And there are a lot of circles that kind of stuff is not appreciated.
Yeah, no question. We do this segment with rapid fire stuff by Titan MRI. We're going to do that in a minute because Jameel brought some. You mentioned Tiger Woods, so
it's funny. You know how many friends I got who got I see these packs, and my friends have done this, and I've never done it. I've honestly never done it before. I've never even seen golf carts.
So this is cool. Upper Deck makes a couple products. They have a lot that comes up, but this SP Game Used one.
Word.
Is
Colin Morikawa on the.
You see it
on the cover? Yeah.
So I want you to take this little box cover.
Right.
You're gonna slice it open.
Cool.
And then there's gonna be a pack inside. You can be rough with it.
So there's only one pack? No, man.
In that one, there's only one pack in that. There's
really?
multiple in these ones. We'll save this one for me, you, and Jeff to open.
The Nicholas one.
Yeah.
But the Colin Moore. So this is a box, and it only has. You said it only has
this
one
one
pack
has one
of cards.
So this is kind of like a breaker savvy pack, where there's not a lot of cards, but it's like a wham bam one and done, right, all at once. And you get
like a lot of my exes.
That's right.
Sorry, not sorry.
You might have to do another cut here. They always have that little.
I know they got all this for one card. It better be something special in here.
You get it?
Yeah, I think so. Got it.
See, Michael Collins can get into a box. He knows how to get in.
Bro, you said bust it up.
That's right. Bust it up all you need to. There you go. All right. So we got a little SP Game Used with Michael Collins here. All right. There's the pack.
All right.
Let's see this bad boy.
That's why they put a whole box just for this.
All right, so there's gonna be.
I got to sign one, yo. Adam Hadwin.
Already.
Adam Hadwin signed.
Look at that, right off the bat. It's a red one. See, it's numbered. See in the red. Flip it over.
17
out of 15, right?
So there's only 15 of those.
Well, this is number 2 of 15. So there's only 15 of these cards.
Let me put it in a sleeve for you. Look at that.
Yes, please.
Already on fire. What you got next?
Tour gear.
Little jersey. So they put like jerseys that they wore.
Little swaps of jerseys.
Yeah.
So Cameron Tringali, Hudson Swafford, Michael Thompson, Lucas Glover. Funny story about Michael Thompson. I caddied for him for a round during the playoffs because his caddy's wife went into labor, so he left.
Wow.
And he's one of the only guys that I've caddied for. He did all his numbers to the 5s. So instead of being like, yo, it's 123 yards, you got to be like, no, we're just playing 125 or 120.
Okay.
Where most guys would be like, I need the exact number. He was like, we'll figure to the
Just
fives.
round it up a little bit.
Yeah. So, we got a Paula Creamer card.
Okay.
That's got a swab too.
Yeah, that's got a little. That's a cool one. It's got a little bit of there.
That looks like. No, it's not. Because at first I thought it was maybe a Solheim Cup one. Yuka Sasso rookie card.
There we go.
That's a major champion right there.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
That's a good one too.
So you hit a nice rookie.
Yep. And Adam Long.
Adam Long.
I got an Adam Long card.
You did good, man.
Yeah.
That was your first.
A Dookie.
This is your first rip, first pack opening.
That's crazy.
Breaking boxes. All right, so the next one we're gonna open.
So if Adam already signed that card, then this is 2 of 15. I ain't got to get him to sign it then.
No,
Right?
and
Now Yuka Sasso though, I could get her to sign this.
Absolutely, yeah. Those are people love doing that. And while I guess I'm opening this next box.
Yeah.
Maybe speak a little bit on graphers, and you see it a little bit too much.
You wouldn't think in golf that there would be what you call them, graphers?
Yeah, because
autograph hounds.
Yeah, they're called graphers.
So one of the funniest things I saw, and I've seen it at a few tournaments now, is graphers will stand off to the side and they'll pay kids to go one at a time. So it ain't someone standing there with a bag full of stuff. And this one dude was infamous, so his caddy and the agent both knew. Because they see this dude all the time. So I was like, yo, want me to help you out? And they're like, yeah, what you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to film him sending the kid down, and then I'm going to take my camera and go over there and try and interview him. And ask him, yo, what's up? What you doing? And so when I did it, this dude turned tail.
He just ran?
And I was like, bro, where you going? Because I'm going at him like he don't want his face.
Yeah.
And I was like, where you going with that bag of stuff, man?
Yeah.
Why you paying them? How much you pay them kids?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to talk to them kids too. Why you leaving?
Yeah.
And so, and they would say, like, the caddy would be watching for people.
Okay.
And so if he sees a kid go up and come down, then he knows that kid don't sign that.
Yeah.
So he'll reach over. Nah. So you got people nowadays that'll protect the players from doing that. Or like when we played in Greenville, South Carolina, there was people standing outside the hotel. Somebody had pictures of me. I was like, how? You must be like new. You're just starting. If you got 8x10s of me, because you're not selling nobody but my family members, and I ain't got but like 4. So and they're cheap. They're not paying for this.
There's a little too much supply for the demand, right?
Yeah,
So.
or like you just hoping I'm gonna get you to sign these, and hopefully you blow up.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Well, this was SB Game Used. This next product is called Artifacts, and the Artifacts they throw in some of the old timers. So
really,
we're gonna do something called Pack Wars. All right.
Pack Wars.
And so in cards, you can just usually everybody keep their cards, but whoever wins Pack Wars usually gets to take whatever.
Really.
Everybody else.
So whoever got the best out of
you can do best. So let's do the first round. We'll do the best one.
All right.
So whoever got the best player, I mean, obviously, Tiger or something like that might take it down.
Or like you got Jack is on the cover. Who you got from John?
Auto right off the bat.
Come on, man.
Little Sue Auto.
Justin Suh. All right. I got Lori Kane. Let me see. Ooh.
You guys might got me.
I don't know.
First guy, Tiger Woods.
Oh,
bruh.
How is that fair?
Bruh.
What did you get? Oh, what is
Natalie
that?
Galbus.
That's a cool gold card.
Natalie
Yeah.
Galbus.
I got Natalie Galbus.
Oh, dude, I don't even know if we keep going. Just hitting the Tiger right off the bat.
Yeah. Moira Jatanagarn.
I mean, these are great golfers.
And
Tom
Angela Stanford.
But
I got the LPGA pack.
Brett Wederick.
That's a funny one right there,
So
too.
that's a way how you do Pack War. So if you were like we all went in on this box, Jeff would get all the
Jeff
cards.
get that one.
All right, we'll do another
Booyah.
round here. Do another round.
One
Which
more, and
you
then we'll
taking,
get some rapid fire
There we
for
go.
you.
Yeah.
All right. We got to take Jeff down. Come
This
on, Mike.
I can see this could be addicting right here. Just tearing this open.
Well, now imagine if I had pulled a Tiger Woods autograph.
Oh, yeah.
And you know
Bruh,
what I mean?
and they got those in
Yeah,
there?
and like you had a Tiger. We'd have to figure that out. Yeah, that'd be a little...
Yeah. Oh, I got Tim Herron, Lumpy. So here's a funny story about Tim Herron, about Lumpy. I was doing a show in San Antonio at the River Center Comedy Club way back in the day, and I was caddying that week too. And so Tim is standing at the back of the room with me, and this dude is just burning heaters, like over and over. And I look at him and I was like, are you okay, man? What's the matter? And he was like, I'm nervous. Why are you nervous? He was like, because if you go up on stage and suck, I got to be your friend still after the fact. You're going to come back and stand next to me, and people going to see you stand next. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to suck, man. You'll be all right. And I did. I had a good show. Thank goodness.
There you go.
Thank goodness.
So other than Lumpy, who else you get in there?
Ooh.
I got Payne Stewart.
Oh.
So I think there's
That
a
might
name.
win.
Nope.
Ooh, who you got? Oh,
Another
Tiger.
I got a
Tiger.
T-dub.
Tiger showing up twice. I
Yeah.
can't even compete.
Sweet.
Take my card.
I did get an awesome rookie card, though.
Who'd you get?
Rasmus Højgaard, one of the
red
twins.
one.
Very
You're
good,
on the
yeah.
red. You're
I'm
wearing
on the
red.
red tip.
You pulled the
Yeah,
red auto, and
yeah.
now a red.
Yeah, Rasmus.
Oh.
That's 187 of 199.
So that shows it's
and
limited,
another
right?
Laurie Kane.
So that's limited, right? So like, let's say Erasmus wins a major or something like that. Kind
Right.
of card will just jump in value, especially around the time of that major.
Oh, really?
Or it doesn't
And
have to
it's
be
a
major.
rookie
It doesn't have to be
card,
a major.
too.
Yeah, because you have his rookie card, their value just accentuates. So
Yeah.
Blair O'Neill for me.
There
I
you
got
go.
her autograph at the PGA show
Really?
a few years ago.
Yeah,
So-
I know Blair.
Yeah,
we'll have
good.
to give
Some
Mike
pictures?
these. He can rip
Yeah,
these
he can
later.
get the rest of
Later,
Okay.
so we can have those.
All right.
All right. So these, just quick. First thing comes to your mind,
Okay, here we go.
and we'll have some
You
fun.
should call this "Try Not to Get Canceled." That's what this
That's right.
rapid
No,
instead of rapid fire.
You know I wouldn't do that to you.
I know,
Titan
just
MRI.
kidding. That's
rapid fire segment.
Exactly.
Don't get canceled.
All right.
All right.
You might piss some people off, especially some Philly people.
Well, you already know people here in Gainesville mad because I'm a Gator hater.
right.
You know
That's
what I
very
mean?
true.
Yeah. And this year, boy.
Oh,
So-
a lot of hating.
we
you
got,
know what I
we
mean?
got Graham Mertz right outside the studio waiting to come in and chat. So
Yeah, sorry.
be nice to him.
I am.
All
I
right,
am.
you are. I know.
Yeah.
Greater Philly legend: Iverson, Utley, McNabb.
Iverson.
Okay, I figured you'd say that. I
agree with that.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. Best golf drink: an Arnold Palmer, a John Daly, or a Transfusion.
Transfusion.
Okay. All right. What club are you hitting? 12 at Augusta. You got Rays Creek right there in the front. All
I
the
played it.
azaleas in the back. I know. What club are you going to take?
I won the lottery in 2017 and was fortunate enough to play it the day after Sergio won the Masters. And I hit 8-iron.
And did you get it on?
Why you want to ruin
It's just a great story.
I made bogey.
Okay.
I did make a putt. I got up and down for bogey. And made a putt that the caddy said he'd never seen made from the
Really?
spot I was at.
So
Because
it
of
was,
the
it
speed
was
and
fate
break.
to
Yeah.
do that. Made it
Yeah,
even better.
I made a 4.
All right.
I'm proud of that 4.
17 on TPC. What are you hitting?
It depends on the wind.
Yeah.
I've hit anywhere from pitching wedge to 7-iron.
Wow.
Yeah.
So see, that's the
Yeah.
difference,
I've
folks.
played that a bunch. You want to hear something crazy with 17?
Yeah.
I've never hit that green if cameras weren't on. If I'm filming something for TV, or a live segment on TV, I've hit 5 shots and never missed the green. And every time I play it just with my friends, I've never hit the green.
Can't hang.
I don't understand it, man.
That is weird.
Yeah. It's like if the lights aren't on, I'm just having too good a time.
Yeah.
I don't care. Even
All
though
right.
I do care.
Well, I don't have the lights ever been on for you to get a hole in one.
I've gotten 2. Ooh. I've got 2.
You saw them both go in.
No, I didn't see either of them go in.
Really?
That's the craziest part. So the one in Hilton Head was when I first started, and that one I was playing with 2 strangers. I had a show that night. We got to the 16th hole at Port Royal, and the par 3 was a little bit uphill, and there was a bunker with a big lip. So I hit this 9-iron from 160 and kind of bladed it a little bit. And so I thought it was over the back, it was near twilight. And so I thought it was either in the face of the bunker or in the back bunker, and we were walking around, and there was a party going on at one of the townhouses, and the dude screamed, "Yo, look at the hole!" And I went, "Ah!" So I invited everybody from the party there, and then the last one happened almost 18 years later, and it was 2 years ago in Houston with Kessler Corain, Patrick Reed's caddy.
Oh, baby.
And I hit a shot at his course on a par 3, and I was like, that's way left on the green. And he was like, that's going to be perfect. And I was like, whatever. I thought they were just giving me crap.
Yeah.
So I bent down, picked up the tee, and I'm looking, trying to find, and I'm hearing them like, hey, it's tracking now. And they were like, oh, and I was like, yeah. And then they go, ah, and I look up, and the ball's not there. And I was like,
Wow.
and they're running around like, ah. And I was like,
reaction
no
level.
way. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So I got 2 hole-in-ones, and I didn't see either of them.
No, baby.
Yeah.
I got 0. So
Really?
yeah, nothing yet.
Oh,
I
but
gotta-
how many albatross though?
4 or 5.
See,
So
hole out from a par 5.
chicks dig the long ball.
Amen to
That's
that.
all about.
Yeah.
All right. If you weren't in the golf industry and you had to play another sport, what sport would you be a professional in?
Bowling? No.
Crush it.
No, I mean I did bowl when I was little. I was actually, and the only reason I can say this with confidence is because of Jose Altuve. Thank you for the little dudes. Baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. I was a very good hitter. When I played baseball, I batted over 500 every time I played. So I was very good at putting the ball in play.
All right, then better athlete, baseball player or golfer?
I have this argument with my friends all the time. I used to say golfer, but now I'm going to say baseball player if you compare those two. But here's one for you guys that I throw out, and you can change this to your rapid fire. Of the 4 major sports, who has to be in the best shape? In the 4 major sports, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, who has to be in the best shape?
Hockey.
Hockey's a lot of physical.
See,
Just
we
up
all
and down
agree.
and- yeah.
I can't tell you the fights. You know who you are. You know who you are. The fights that have started. We've been arguing about this for 4 years.
Wow.
4 years we've been arguing about this.
Those
I got
dudes
a
are
baseball
legit.
player, an NBA player, and an NFL player, and everybody argues.
I might say 80s, 90s basketball could be a close second. Like new basketball, no, but 80s, 90s.
I used to think that too, that it was basketball because of the grind until the baseball player, you don't realize in the MLB that they play 17 days in a row.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like they will play sometimes 20 days in a row. So like that's even if you're not like, and this is what I would make fun of, I'd be like, come on, man, if you in the outfield,
Of course.
you got a lot of plays where you just like, all right, way to go.
Talking to the
Yeah, just hanging out.
Do it again. All right, next guy.
Making fun of my sport.
Hey,
Yeah,
where
I
we
mean-
going to eat tomorrow? Like,
So I was a pitcher,
he
though.
get
You're
mad.
in all the
See?
action.
Yeah, but
But he
no,
didn't
you're
pitch
not.
every day,
Well,
though.
you-
Thank
once
you.
a week.
You're the best golfer on the team.
Very
What
true.
does that tell you?
Yeah, very true.
See,
Very
your
true.
guy who's the grinder. I think the most is the catcher,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's the dude who's like, you never see a 60-year-old catcher who's like still spry and bouncing around.
Right.
They're a little crooked.
And everything's a little slow. This is slow down,
It's true.
everybody.
It's true.
All right. Coolest ball marker you've ever seen?
The coolest.
Maybe most unique? Like the cracker on Happy Gilmore?
I seen does a gold medal count? I seen
say
dudes
that's all
use
right.
I seen 3 dudes use a gold medal as a
up
ball
there.
marker. That's up there.
That
But
is.
I have a cool one that's a little mini Patron bottle.
Oh, perfect.
That's I was like, that's unique too. But like there's a ball marker from Jordan's course from Grove 23. That is, you throw that mug down and people.
It's like a black card.
Yeah, you're getting it.
You
I
know
love
how
it.
you never saw them before, and then when you saw the first one, you were like, "Yo, is that the?" And that card hit the thing and it went ting 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 ting. Wait, that credit card is ting 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 ting.
a little
Wait,
different.
what is that?
It's a little
That is not plastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what. There's some ball markers out there that I like that.
All right. So since you mentioned Jordan and you talked about interviewing him there with Tiger,
Yeah.
is there one person? Because I mean, you don't get nervous. I mean, you're in front of people all the time. But is
I
there
do.
one? Is there one dude that like, holy cow, like that's so and so? I'm gonna. Go
I'll give
talk
you
to this
two.
guy.
Okay, I'll give you 2 examples of when I was freaking out. The first one I was freaking out was when I had to interview 2 presidents and Jack Nicklaus at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So it was Jack Nicklaus, Clinton, and Bush at the same time during an event. And it wasn't even live, so it was like we can't mess up. But I was still like, okay. Whew. Like this is well above my pay grade normally. But ironically enough, it was Nicholas who made me feel comfortable because I'd known him
Yep.
for a little while. Because I used to get like terrified when I had to interview him, or like when I was doing a live thing with Tiger or something like that. I used to get real terrified. And the other time that I got like real nervous before an interview was I and it wasn't really even an interview, but when Condoleezza Rice was still Secretary of State, I interviewed her live on the air, and then I got her to call a golf shot
Wow.
during a tournament when we were at Congressional, and and my producers and the directors and everybody did not want me doing the interview because like That's not what I'm known for.
Sure.
Interviewing the Secretary of State. But the way that it happened, it all happened really fast, and I was the guy who was there. And so when she like came over, and I was like, "Oh, Madam Secretary, Michael Collins was XM Radio," and she was like, "Yeah, let's chat." And then like she told me a story of rushing. She's Stanford as well.
Yep.
Her and Tiger rushed the basketball court together.
No way.
Back in the day, and that was a cool story. And then later on, I got her to call a golf shot. She called a Paul Casey putt on the 18th hole.
Did you drain it?
She was horrible at calling golf. She was terrible. She was terrible. And he missed the putt.
Oh, gosh.
But then the next time I saw her, she almost got me shot by her Secret Service people. Ooh. Which that was freaky. When, I saw her and she just finished doing another interview, and she's still sitting in, so she's got Secret Service around her.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Hey," because I'm like, it's been a year. She ain't going to remember me. But she was like, "Hey, you, what's up? Come here." And she goes, "Come here." So I go to give her a hug. And as I step in, one of the Secret Service guys that was by her, I see him move his jacket to the side. And I just caught it out the corner of my eye and then was like, and she goes, "Come here." And I was like, "That's easy for you to say." Yeah. Like, I'm moving there too fast. The next thing I know, I'm going to wake up in a country I never heard of, and I ain't got a social security number no more. No one's ever heard of me.
That's right.
So, yeah, that shook me. First time I ever interviewed MJ was at the Ryder Cup, Valhalla. That was a little terrifying.
Yeah.
A little terrifying. But he's he's good people, man.
Yeah.
He's good people.
Yeah, that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
All right, I got two more for you.
Okay, come on.
Easy ones.
Yep.
Most hated.
You say easy.
Most hated team: Cowboys, Braves.
For me?
Cowboys, Braves, or Celtics.
Oh my gosh, I don't hate the Braves at all.
Okay, good. Because I would destroy your life right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What place are y'all in? Destroy what?
Yeah.
Very true.
You just lucky.
But nobody
you
ever
ain't
wins,
even getting a wild
nobody
card
ever
right
wins
now.
from winning the division
I know
anymore.
that's crazy.
So
I know.
Yeah.
Sucks.
That is true.
I know. We got to change that this year. Please let that change. Cowboys or Celtics, bro. That's a tough one. Oh man, I don't know that I can.
It's a push.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tough.
that might be.
we've ever
We got to
had.
get him
That
a
might be a
DAC
push.
card and
I'll
a
get you some
Tatum
DAC
card.
and some
No,
Tatum.
because I have a standing. That's why I'm thinking Cowboys. But here's the thing: like, I like Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Like, I like him. He's a nice guy. We've been on a golf course together. So it's like I don't hate individuals. I don't hate individuals. But when you put that uniform on,
It changes.
that bro, now you're not the dude I know.
Yeah.
I don't know you right now. You take that off and I know you.
All right.
Put that
speaking of-
uniform. So I'm gonna say Cowboys.
Speaking of putting stuff on, take that hat right there. Put it on backwards.
Yeah.
I know you like to wear backwards hats.
Yeah, big time. I've been doing this since I was a little kid.
New
So-
era fitted
so
warning. There we go.
Who looks better,
Ooh.
you or Ken Griffey Jr. in a
Griff,
backwards
that's
hat?
not fair. That's not fair. That's my nickname ain't the kid. That ain't, you know what I mean?
It does look good though.
It does look good.
Yeah. You know why so it's two different reasons. I think he'll be okay with me telling this story. There's two different reasons why we started wearing hats backwards. For me, is because I love being a catcher. So back in the day, before they had the specialized catcher helmet, this is what the catcher always had his hat on backwards. So I was like, that's cool as a kid. So I always like to put my hat on backwards. So, because of being a catcher.
Yeah.
Griff, the reason he wore his hat backwards all the time is because when he was a little kid, even today, he got a little peanut head. So he used to take his dad's hats, and they didn't fit. And the only way he could keep them on is if he wore them backwards.
Yeah.
So it was his way of being attached to his father.
Yeah.
So that's why he started wearing his hat backwards. And like even today, when he first gets a new hat, he don't put it on. He puts it on backwards first to see if it fits. Or most people put a hat on like,
Yeah.
nah.
Shape it.
I've seen him do it. Like he gets a new hat and he goes on backwards first.
pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm not cool. He's still, there's arguments now. People are like, how old are you? You're not allowed to wear a hat backwards. I'd be like, whatever, with you. But anybody see him put a hat on, you're like,
He'll be
yeah.
85
That's
with this
pretty
hat.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
T-shirts now with it
sure.
on backwards. So
I don't do no crisscross to put no T-shirt on backwards.
no. He's got a T-shirt with his mug on there with a hat.
With a hat backwards. Yeah, that's
Old
it.
school
That's
right
what
there.
everybody
Crisscross
knows right there.
reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that's an
Jump,
old school
jump,
reference.
right.
Daddy
Yeah.
Mac will make you jump.
I know.
Speaking of
How
singing.
funny would that be when we were hearing that in the retirement community?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, back in the
Getting
day.
after it.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing, can you sing the Fly Eagles Fly song?
Ooh. Before you do this,
Do you
I'm a
want me
Bucks
to
fan.
do that?
I'm a Bucks fan.
Are you going to the game on Sunday?
play
I would
each
love
other.
to, but we got a huge game. Are you going? All right, maybe I might make a trek down there and sit right next to you. We'll see.
Good luck getting them seats.
Yeah.
Come on with it. If it's like that, I'm gonna throw that out there.
There
Yeah,
you go.
it's like that.
Fly Eagles fly. These feet. I mean, you guys travel well, but
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
travel well.
was it 31-9?
Did they not just say
Was it
in New
31?
Orleans that the Eagles said it felt like a home game? Do you see when
Really? I didn't see
Saquon
that.
No.
when Saquon scored his touchdown and he jumped into the crowd? He ain't jumping no New
It's
Orleans
not fair,
fans.
man. You guys got Saquon too. Like, just think about all the players.
What's
they
not
have.
fair?
They just loaded
I
up.
literally just
Loading
played.
up.
I sent my buddy who's a Giants fan. What's up, Ryan? I sent him the clip from Hard Knocks of the president of the Giants saying, as long as Saquon doesn't go to the Eagles, because I'm not going to be able to sleep if he goes to the Eagles.
He's got some insomnia now.
Bruh, Saquon, man, I'm excited about my team, but I'm very nervous about my team.
Yeah.
Because I need to know which Eagles team are we.
I think this game's gonna be good Sunday. I think it'll be a real good game because
Especially what just happened to y'all.
Yeah, coming up that they're gonna be fired up. Plus the
Baker's
Home
you
gonna be
guys
loss.
have the
mad.
playoff game from last year to fight. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of stuff.
There's some chips on some shoulders
Yeah,
now.
it'll be good.
There's some chips on some shoulders, though. This is gonna be. That's why I gotta be there.
All
I
right.
gotta be there.
Well, then sing it so we take us out to break. with,
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
Hear this right now.
Fight, Eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit
Michael
them
Collins,
low,
everybody.
hit them
American
high,
Idol.
and watch
All
those
these things.
Cap
Eagles
Rippers.
fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. EAGLES, Eagles.
This guy. Here we
Jump
go.
on the bandwagon.
There it is.
For real.
Show it off.
Yeah,
Show it off.
yeah. Show me your Bucks tattoo.
I don't have
You ain't no
one.
fan
Yeah,
then.
there we
You
go.
ain't a fan.
There we go.
You ain't a fan.
Everybody should be a fan of this guy. Appreciate you.
Thanks for
coming
having
on,
me,
buddy.
fellas.
Yeah.
Thank
Michael
you.
Collins.
Thanks for getting me
check
addicted
out
to
his
now
stuff.
opening, Pat. I'm going to get packs of cards now to
I'm gonna
open
get you a
up.
box to take back. to you.
Whoa!
You're good
Stop
to go,
playing.
buddy.
Oh, thanks,
Even though
man.
you're an Eagles fan, I'll give you a box. Don't worry about it.
Big time stuff. All right,
Thanks,
back
man.
with more on the Meelypod Hobby Podcast right after this.
Albert, Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
This is Jameel, owner of the Meelypop shop, Gainesville's home for collectibles of all sorts, including every single type of sports cards, whether it be Panini, Topps, Leaf, Upper Deck. We have it. Come on in, get yourself a box, a pack, get yourself some supplies, get into our breaks, get your Pokemon, get your Yu-Gi-Oh! All the other different kinds of TCG products that we carry and shop are always fully in stock. You can find our stuff on our website as well, meelypops.com. That's another way you can interact with the store, or you can just come into the shop. We're located off 39th Avenue by I-75 behind Walgreens and Sonny's. Stop on by. We're open every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you can check us out on our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'd love to see you. Come on out to the shop, have some fun, be a part of the card community here in Gainesville, and always go Gators.
All right, great stuff from
Yeah.
Michael Collins. Just an awesome guy. Known him for a really long time, and it's crazy because he travels all over the world, but we can find him here in Gainesville, goofing off sometimes, having fun. And next week's guest we'll have a lot of fun with another guy that now lives in Gainesville, Todd Golden,
Yeah.
the men's basketball coach for the Gators.
Yeah, it's going to be a great interview. I got to know Todd through the card shop first. Him and his son are just avid hobbyists. So he wants to bring in some cards next week. He also wants to maybe rip. So we're going back-to-back weeks with people in the studio, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is a great thing. Always awesome to see the new wax too,
Yeah.
Jameel. It's our favorite segment where you get to just tell everybody what's new, what's cool out there, and what to maybe go try to find something special in.
Yeah, so right here up on set, we have the 5-star release, Topps 5-star. It's heavily allocated. It's a product that I think people always love because it's so simple. You get 2 autograph cards premium stock, thick cards. We just made a TikTok video the other day of opening a box and pulled a Marco Luciano. Of course, it's the video where you're just trying to show people out.
Sure.
Marco Luciano, we got 3 autographs in it, patch auto, and it had a Vita number 16. I think it's a patch they wore on the field for the jersey, so it was really super cool card. And I just think the cut autographs are going to be an added element to this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how 5 Star does. I mean, the last few years, it's really come out at a fair price point and just hyper accelerated. So we'll see if this box, reaches that 400 level. I know it's going to probably be 300s, upper 300s, so we'll see if it climbs. On top of that, first release of ever for this brand, it's called Phoenix, but it's in basketball. So they've made football in the past and they put it in Chronicles and other brands, but Panini 23-24 Phoenix basketball, which has got a lot of fun parallels in it. The nice thing about Phoenix is you get a lot of packs, and it seems like when you buy it, you're always getting kind of a good return on it. So It's a product that's coming out that I think that you might like to rip. Are you a ripper with the hands, or do you do the teeth? What do you do? Hands. Okay.
Can't mess it up.
Yeah, you don't mess it up. The old school.
Plus, one time I bought a T-shirt thinking I was going to be all cool, as wear to a game, and it's got the little plastic things. I used my tooth to open it up and. Little chip of the tooth.
Chip the tooth.
Do not bite off the tags. Well, you can bite baseball cards.
Yeah, you can bite the packs on baseball cards. It's just I've just got this visual now of Jeff biting a tag and just cracking his teeth. The noise. Yeah, if we had video of that, that'd be pretty amazing.
Pretty sweet. I do have a picture. I think we can throw it up there.
Let's throw it up there.
Do not do this.
Yeah, don't bite tags. The biggest release of the week is National Treasures football. So 2023 NT, they call it football, known for the rookie patch autographs, but this makes it tricky this year because other than Richardson, you don't have the other three quarterbacks, Bryce Young, Will Levis, or CJ Stroud as autograph under Panini. So they're going to have cards. Are they not going to have we haven't really seen this yet. Are they going to be no autograph? Are they going to be are they going to impose something on? Are they going to do a facsimile? So that will be very interesting to see how that market runs. And Wembanyama is going to have his National Treasure soon, and there's not going to be autograph cards of that as well, where in the past they've always been autographed. So these cards are very expensive, as you know. Cases, I think I saw the other day, $15K or $15 to $20K, somewhere in that range right now for the 4-box case of football. And the crazy thing about National Treasures, you never know if you're going to even get a rookie patch autograph per box unless you buy the FOTL. So that's the big release, I think, from the high-end market. And then there's 2 other releases. Portfolio Golf, of course, we didn't have the product in time to share with Michael today, but 2024 Upper Deck Portfolio Golf. And then lastly, 23-24 Upper Deck OPC Platinum Hockey, which is kind of like a prism for hockey in a way. Upper Deck does a pretty good job with this, and of course, people are still looking for Connor Bedard autographs and cards like that and chases. So big week for Wax. We love the fact that we have it. Meelypops.com or scmeelypops.com. You can order all of this. We get stuff shipped out amazingly fast. And if you want to rip with some cards, make sure you go pop on the website.
They ever make a Nicolas Cage National Treasure card?
They should.
They should.
They should just literally have his face, in the background, and then
And that's still some great movies.
We should reach out to
Both
Panini. It's a great idea.
It's a great idea to do. And then you mentioned OPC. I remember way back in the day there was OPC cards, and then maybe they go away. And obviously I don't know enough about it as much as you do, but when they bring in these new brands or brands that maybe people don't hear about all the time, does that water things down a little bit, or does that make it more exciting for somebody that may have never or even heard of this product to say, hey, maybe you should try to go get this?
Yeah, I think people love brands, old brands. So you see the Leafs and the Pro Sets and stuff like that that have come back, Donruses and things. But when it comes to OPC Platinum, it's OPC in general has been kind of a namesake in hockey. You're talking about the Gretzky rookie card. The OPC Gretzky rookie card is worth way more than the Topps version. So that brand has been around for a long time. And now we see, with people like Connor McDavid in 15-16 and even going back farther when you look at people like Crosby and Ovechkin, these kinds of rookie cards, quintessential brands, are key. So hockey fans love OPC Platinum. It is a nice set. It's a 8-box case, I think, this year. I'm not sure if it's always been that, but 8-box cases, and of course there'll be chases, amongst all the big names in hockey.
All right, well, you don't have to chase around a whole bunch of different platforms to find us. We're on 39 different ones to listen to the podcast each and every week, and of course you can catch it on YouTube and a lot of different ways that way. So tell your friends about it. Hope you enjoyed things with Michael Collins today. Again, we'll have Todd Golden next week, and we'll have a fun battle. See if your Bucks can get back on track.
Yeah, we'll see.
That was probably the biggest bust of any game last week, where they just
nobody
Denver
saw that.
strolled in there, and I bet it messed up a lot of people's like suicide pools.
The Carolina game, also last night's game, Washington. I mean, who was going to think that they'd be 0-3,
Sure.
right? And the Ravens were very close to being 0-3 as well, but they pulled it out in the end.
That they certainly did, and I'm still pulling it out in one of the fantasy leagues I'm in, 3-0, the top of the heap, and
The other league,
you
though,
got a loss.
I
The
think
other
you're 1
league's
and 2.
struggling.
Yeah, I think you're struggling. I think I'm 2-1 in both. So
Okay.
I
You're
think
in a perfect
by
spot.
law of means, I'm doing better than you. I think.
Yes, very much so. But don't freak out if you're a fantasy person.
Yeah.
Although maybe freak out if Kelsey hasn't really gotten it going yet, and all those people, Sam Laporta got hurt. So all you that drafted tight ends early, stupid.
Yeah, don't be
That's why
doing
I
that.
waited.
That's why you gotta be patient.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be patient, but just for a week to talk to Todd Golden. Again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Episode 17 of the Meelypod Hobby Podcast for Jameel. I am Jeff. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Thursday at noon.